You're listening to Errol Parker and Clancy Overall, editors of the Batuta Advocate, on Desert Rock FM.
Well, welcome back to the Batuta Advocate radio show. It is a wonderful time of the year. We're bringing the year to a close with a very special guest today. Of course, your hosts here, Clancy Overall and Errol Parker. How are you, Errol?
Good, mate. Always good.
And today we have another Queensland icon on the show with us in Baxter Booth Studios. We have Dylan Napa. It's been a while, bro. How are you?
Mate, I'm good. Yeah, firstly, thanks for having me on, boys. It's an absolute pleasure.
Well, we've been chasing you for a while, but the heat's cooled down a little bit on Dill, so you're free to kind of talk about life and footy. And, well, it's been a big year, big couple of years, really, when you take in the premiership there too.
Yeah, it's been, I've probably seen the highest of highs and then also the lowest of lows, but, that's how life goes. It just happened to happen in 12 months.
Mm-hmm. Well, 2019's almost over, Dill, and I reckon 2020 is your year.
Yeah, appreciate that, bro. I wouldn't mind that. Cheers. Cheers, my boy.
Cheers. Now, give us a little rundown on how you grew up. That last name, Napa, Cook Islander.
Yeah, so I was born in Brisbane.
Yeah.
My old man's from the Cook Islands.
Mm-hmm.
He grew up in South Auckland, Otahu.
Right.
He moved over. He's probably him and Mark Graham.
Yeah, right.
Were the two of the first islanders to move from New Zealand to Australia to pursue football.
Footy, right.
Yeah.
You go straight to Queensland?
Went to Queensland, yeah, played in the Brisbane Rugby League, and then he met Mum.
Yeah. Stayed in Queensland.
Yeah, stayed, and I popped out.
Yeah. So you're the oldest?
I'm the youngest.
Youngest, right.
Yeah, I got an older brother, Lewis, and
Yeah.
Lindsay, older sister.
So that was kind of written that you boys would be playing footy?
Yeah, we were pretty free as kids. We were allowed to do pretty much anything. Yeah, so we were always outdoors and mucking around as kids do.
And when did you first start seeing signs of this might be a go here?
Well, I probably wasn't seeing signs, but I got pretty stuck into footy.
Yeah.
It's probably like 6 or 7 years old. I started playing footy as a kid. And,
What club you with in Brisbane?
Aspley Devils.
Aspley.
Yeah.
Who else came out of Aspley? Paddy Gordon.
Josh McGuire.
Yeah, right.
I think Josh McGuire. I think there's a few, man,
And
to
the
be
Bee
honest.
Gees, didn't they?
Bee Gees came
No,
out.
that was Redcliffe, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then...
So you're a North Side boy.
North Side, yeah. I went to St. Pat's College, Shorncliffe.
Were there many other cookies, many other islanders around North Side Brisbane back then?
Just my brother and dad that
Yeah,
I was
that's
aware
it.
of.
Yeah, the rest are all down Logan, right? Little South Side, Ipswich.
Yeah, I think they've taken over down the south of Brizzy.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you think you'd be doing if you weren't playing footy?
That's a good question, man. I actually have no idea.
Seafood chef. Serving up poke bowls.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe be working for my homie Dulla and Fishbowl, but I don't know, man. It's a really good question. I always try and think about it each day too, because it's going to come to that eventually.
What are you thinking, coaching?
Absolutely not.
Or commentary?
Yeah, maybe commentary for the Batuta Advocate.
Yeah. We could use a sports reporter.
Yeah.
Because it's, rugby league journalism in Australia is just it's so refined and it's so impressive in this country, the way the journalists write about the game and the players. Don't you reckon?
It's interesting. Not too sure how much I can comment on this. But it's interesting how some of the journalists go about it.
What was your first you would have been 2000? Well, you just missed that other premiership with the Roosters, didn't you? When you were a young kid.
That was my debut year in 2013.
You had 7 matches. That was a real debut year. Like you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a full preseason and
Yeah, right.
really earned my spot.
Yeah.
So I played I think 7 of the games leading up to the grand final.
Yeah,
and
right.
Myself and Isaac Liu, and then Boy Cordner and Luke O'Donnell came back for the grand final, and
Now,
I wasn't going to say anything to Luke O'Donnell or Boy Cordner at 20 years old.
No. As a forward, what's it like? I mean, obviously, I can only imagine you grew up worshipping some of those big boys. You know, when rugby league started getting really professional, everyone started getting real big. Sonny Bill.
Yeah.
What was it like to then play with him? You know, because you would have definitely been at the age where you were a kid watching him.
Well, yeah. So the reason I got back into rugby league, so I was saying before, I started young and then sort of phased out at about 12 years old. I BMX rode. That's all I did.
Right.
Every day.
BMX.
I got banned from riding to school because I'd just go to the skate park and wouldn't go to school. And then, and then Sonny Bill came along, and I think just watching the way he played, and I mean, Sonny Bill, bro, like his tattoos, size,
haircut.
Yeah, he definitely made me appreciate the game again. And
Do you have one of those classic rugby league dads where he's kind of halfway coach on the sideline?
Nah, he usually sits with the. It's pretty funny. He usually sits in the opposition stand, and if I ever get like penalised or sent off or something, and someone says something in the crowd about me, he'll try and fight him or something. So he got banned from coming to my school games pretty quickly. Yeah.
And he's setting yourself up for that if you're sitting in their stand.
Yeah, that's why he did it. He did it on purpose. He knew what he was doing, man.
So Brisbane to Bondi, effectively.
Yeah,
straight down there.
Yes, moved when I was 17, a year after school, and moved straight into Bondi Beach, and just turned 18 years old. Actually, 2 weeks after I moved.
Jesus.
And I had no idea. I had no idea what Bondi was like, but I found out pretty quickly that first summer.
We're not in Aspley anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
No Brazilian girls in Aspley.
Oh, man. No comment.
So what was that like, though? You know, not many people can fathom that. That is what happens with footballers. You move somewhere before you're 18. While your mates are kind of, you know, maybe staying home for a year or two after school or kind of learn the ropes of living independently. You guys have to straight into it. Like 17-year-old paying rent.
Yeah. I've missed, numerous of my mates' 18th birthdays, 21st, weddings, like all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all the football players, someone who has to move job, not only people who play rugby league. But, that's what you do. That's the sacrifice you make. And I came down on, I think it was a $5,000 opportunity, $5,000 for my first year 20s. And then, just tried to make something of it. And
so were you working as well while you were?
I told the NRL we were, but we were just kicking back on the couch at home as 20.
Playing COD.
Yeah, we weren't doing too much, but we forged a few signatures, as you do.
Yeah. So you would have been down there with Bam Bam.
Yep, Bam Bam Tuivasa. We played a year of 20s together.
Yeah.
Angus Crichton too, be down there too, wouldn't he?
I think he was in.
He was a bit. He's a bit younger than you, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's a couple of years younger, so I never really played against him.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But yeah, Bam Bam he was pretty good to have on your side. You knew if there was
when
something
you're rolling
that went
through
down.
the intimidating pubs of the eastern suburbs.
Yeah, it gets pretty scary down in Bondi.
Yeah, but down there though, they all know who he is because of the fighting now.
Yeah.
So like,
it's pretty. Yeah,
it's
it's
fucking
pretty
mad. Like at a pub. To go over there and be like, I'm going to take him.
Yeah, I think in general, even without knowing that he's a good fighter.
Yeah,
he just looks like
it's more the bouncers.
He's a scary man. Yeah, the bouncers are scared of him too. I'm pretty sure they're all his cousins as well.
How do you stay out of trouble? I mean, like everyone at some point in their career gets into trouble, but that sounds like a recipe for trouble. You know, that crowd you just mentioned then as you're under 20s.
Yeah,
like bit of cash. Living in Bondi Beach.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's another thing with moving away. Like, I wasn't an adult yet. So my mum was quite nervous. I've always sort of pushed the boundaries with things. So I couldn't imagine how she felt when I was moving to Bondi Beach as a 17-year-old. But you just got to learn. You got to adapt. Like anything. Like dinner's not going to get cooked itself. So you learn to cook dinner, just things like that. Like.
And two, now, just because you're an athlete now, the media, I guess, would feel a bit entitled to to, you know, the ongoing activities of your life.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
that would be a tough thing to learn.
Yeah, I learnt that pretty quickly. Just being in the under-20s at the Roosters, nothing dramatic, but you know, when you see something and there's cameras there, you're like, they didn't have cameras in Aspley, you know, they didn't have cameras in Brackenridge. But
the rum jungle.
the rum jungle. The news reporters are too scared to go down the rum jungle.
Any pub called the rum jungle. They're trying to rebrand too. They don't want to be known as that anymore, but it'll be forever known as the Brackenridge Rum Jungle.
What's the time? 2:00 on a Friday. My old man would be down there for sure.
Yeah. It was a yarn. We wrote about the rum jungle one night, the Brackenridge Rum Jungle. And, some dude left a comment saying, like, no joke, he went in there for a feed one night with his wife and kids, walked in and there was a fight breaking out between two like council workers it was on payday. And the fight broke out, they went in, had dinner, and then came out and it was still going. That's like an hour and a half long blue.
That sounds like the rum jungle.
There aren't too sort of many things in this life that are as sort of tiring as being in a fight.
Yeah.
If you've got to fight a person for an hour, that's fucking harder than a game of rugby league.
Yeah.
You need rum. That's why you need rum. To be
You
able
need
to-
like power, strength.
I'm sure they had a lot of
Cardio.
rum down there. They don't run out of rum down at the rum jungle, man.
So when do you reckon? I mean, obviously at that stage, under 20s, the most you'd be getting bailed up by those old punters at the the surf club, the RSL. When did like the general public start recognising you? I mean, you're recognisable. You got a nice little red lid on you, and you're probably bigger than most of the pencil necks living down that way. So
Yeah, I mean, I've always stood out, been a bit taller, red hair, and wouldn't say loud, but seemed to draw a bit of attention. I mean, I'm not too sure. I'm always surrounded by big names. Being a young player in an NRL team, there was Hargreaves, there was Cordners, whatever, coming through with the Roosters. So the light really wasn't on me, which was pretty good for a while.
yeah. What's it like when you go back in the valley now? That's where the dribblers are.
I think I'm still banned there. Since I was 17.
So what was that like seeing that? I mean, obviously you didn't play the 2012 grand final match.
2013. Yeah. I debuted. I think it was round 15 against the Bulldogs. Funnily enough, and then I missed. I think however many games, and then played 6 games leading up to the GF, as I was saying before. At the time, I didn't realise how close I was to
The ring.
history.
Yeah.
And then it sort of started, coming together. In 2014, we came close and we lost in the prelim, and then the year after, I think we lost in the prelim as well. It was burning. So
You were going to leave until you got it.
Yeah, the drive was there for sure. Yeah, I mean that doesn't go away ever.
And then when you do win a premiership, what was? Can you just run us through the kind of 48 hours after your final buzzer?
Oh man, I'm still trying to piece that together.
So what do they do? Because I remember seeing the photo the next day of you all still in your kit, which was funny. You were still in your boots. You had your studs on. So what do? They take you in. Obviously they protect you pretty well.
How does the club protect you? Because obviously there are photographers and journalists who just need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, so we're pretty lucky in that regard, but it's funny, the journalists are sort of on your side when you win.
Yeah.
They're not out to get you, so...
Unless you're Benny Barber.
Yeah. Shit, man. Yeah. Poor dude.
Drug test 24 hours after a grand final. It's a bit red hot.
Yeah, well.
Then the chairman goes down.
He has certainly had to sleep in the bed that he's made himself. Hasn't he?
Yeah. Anyway, so what happens? You do the lap. Fans are going wild. Then into the change rooms. Into
the change rooms. I think you get
A couple of Coronas.
a few there. What do we have? I think we have VBs actually, which good.
Yeah,
I love
sponsor.
it. Actually, no, we definitely have
I wouldn't.
VBs. I got a photo on my.
Expect the
I
Roosters
got a
to
few
have them.
photos on my phone.
Roosters, I thought it'd be more
Yeah, we had caviar and scotch.
brownies.
Have a low carb
caviar
beer
and
with
top shelf.
Uncle Nick. Be like, well done, boys.
Batuta Bitter might sponsor the Bulldogs. I
Yeah.
reckon.
Hey, let's do it, man.
Yep.
Starting from now.
Yeah, Western Queensland, Western Sydney, same shit.
Inner West, bro.
Yeah, it's
Outer.
So yeah,
it's the inner outer.
In or outer.
so we went back into the sheds. Had our, I think we 4 or 6 family members, family or friends in, and then we just celebrated, man. Sung the song a bunch of times, took a bunch of photos, and then I can't remember. It was I think it would have been just before 1 o'clock. We went out on the field just as
Oh yeah.
the players only, and
Take that in.
yeah, and just I remember doing it in 2013 actually. Going out, and it's just a playing group, and I'm pretty sure it was a playing group, no staff. And yeah, I remember Minicello's doing a pretty cool speech, man. And then for it to happen 5 years later was and be a part of it was literally a dream come true that I probably didn't even dream I was as a kid, because I didn't dream that big, to be honest.
So you're at ANZ until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
They must have
Yeah,
stung you for
so-
barking.
So
Yeah, I
like,
think-
were the people at ANZ just like, just make sure you pull the door closed on the way out, boys? It's,
Yeah,
it's-
pretty much, man. But I don't know who was last out. But yeah.
So then,
was good
from
fun.
there,
Like-
they've just got private venues for you. For the
Yeah,
next couple of
on the
days.
bus, and every window has got a garbage bag over it.
No comment. So yeah, we caught a bus back, and obviously there was a lot of celebrating, and it's one of the best feelings I'll ever have. I
But
reckon.
you don't come down from something like that, right? You just you're going to be awake for 2 days anyway, so you may as well be
Yeah.
celebrating. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure, man. You have to go back to the clubhouse where your fans are there, and
Sun is on.
100%.
How does that compare to say an Origin?
It's funny, so I was going through my favourites on my phone. I saw a photo of after we won the Origin series, and I was actually comparing them. I don't think they're comparable.
Who was the biggest, like, as in terms of idols that you played with? Because you've had the chance to play with everyone, right? Anyone you could have seen on TV as a kid.
Yeah, man, I've been really fortunate with my career so far.
Yeah.
From Jonathan Thurston, Boyd Cordner, Warrior Hargreaves. He was a huge influence on me coming through. Sonny Bill Williams. That was the top, man.
And you got to meet him,
He's my guy.
post like transition too.
Yeah.
Where he's a full on role model.
He's a yeah, I like the old Sonny better.
Well,
Nah, I love
would you
both.
ever consider a move over to the All Blacks?
Would you be selectable? For Union, you could probably do that, but
Yeah.
What, outside centre?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
fly half.
Oh, I reckon you'd have to be in the backs. Like, just fucking hurt people. Just run.
Was that ever a consideration? I know Ponga had to toy on that.
Yeah.
Did you have to
Carmichael
think about your
done it,
Kiwi
like-
heritage at all?
Yeah, so I think when I was
No one wants to play for the Wallabies. No one.
I mean, is that a thing in footy, right, where not playing Origin can actually kind of hinder your momentum in your career? So you kind of, like, a lot of people, happy to play for the Kiwi, or Tonga's a new thing now. Everyone's happy to play Tonga. They
Yeah.
sacrifice Origin, play Tonga.
Yeah.
But, like, it almost feels like, you're going to make more of a go of it if you just say, fuck, I've got Kiwi background, but I'm raised here. I'm going to do this so I can play Origin, and so you can do that Queensland thing. And you can,
I don't know. It's never really crossed my mind. I've, as a kid, growing up being Australian from Queensland, and my dad's Cook Island.
Yeah.
Mum's
right.
Australian, so
Okay.
I'm pretty.
So he's just via New Zealand.
Yeah, pretty much. He
Yeah.
he
So you'd
he
have
grew
to
up.
play for the Wallabies.
So yeah, I'm probably staying league.
Do you play for Cook Islands in those World Cups?
Yeah, I played actually in 2013 after the grand final.
Yeah.
Played in the World Cup 3 games. So.
And what was the team like? Was that a bit?
Man, if you saw our team on paper now, there's Jordan Rapana, that's Zane Tedavano.
Yeah.
Can't remember now.
So the thing is with the Cook Islands is that Cook Islands is a lot like Norfolk Island is to Australia in that it's its own kind of sovereign state, but it's kind of managed by New Zealand. So it is quite easy for Cook Islanders to like live in New Zealand because it's kind of it's like another state.
Well, I think they're entitled to get a passport.
Yeah.
And they use the New Zealand currency over there, don't they?
Yeah, I'm not
And then in your dad's era, you could go straight from there to here.
Yeah. I think a lot of them did that, snuck over, using some other names, John Smith or something.
Oh.
What was it like when you started playing Origin? I mean, you caught a pretty good era of Origin too. It'd be pretty intimidating to just start now as a young Queenslander, right? With what everyone's looking down the barrel at with Latrell and all the Ferraris playing for the Blues. But you kind of caught the back of a real heater. Right?
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely successful.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought about what stage I caught it at. I'll be happy to play 1 game. Or, I've played 9 and 7.
Yeah.
I don't actually know, maybe 8. But I'd play. I haven't really thought about that. But, like I said before, I was pretty lucky. Some of the players I played with.
We were talking before about how you kind of became a man within the Roosters kind of orbit. Kind of, you grew up with them. What was that like? Because that's a big change to go then to just change clubs, change institutions.
Yeah,
it was like 1 season ends, premiership.
Yeah,
and then from there you're going to a completely different thing. Like the Bulldogs, it's a different. I mean, it's obviously it's an institution. It's got a big following and it's a family club and stuff. But it's a different thing, right?
And they're arch rivals too.
And then you don't know any of the staff.
Isn't that as bunnies though? Aren't they?
Yeah, bunnies.
Yeah, fucking bunnies.
So you, what was the change like? How does it feel? I mean, obviously you're coming in as a more experienced, notable player this time. You're not coming through the ranks as a little kid, but you did grow up with the Roosters. So what was it like to kind of change clubs there?
Yeah, it was definitely
a shock to system.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I had one year left on my contract with the Roosters, and then an opportunity came up with the Bulldogs where I'd be able to play in the NRL for 2 more years, and that was the opportunity I took. And it was it's like I've been at the Bulldogs for a year now, and it's been amazing. And even to start this preseason has been awesome. The guys are really welcoming, and obviously had some situations in the preseason last year, which wasn't really sure that was going to happen.
Yeah. How was it? You took a hospital pass. Everyone knows the story. Man, to be honest, it was. I was more annoyed at the fact that as my profile grew, that I'd recognize that, and I tried to be smarter and more aware of things like this. But this is something also that came back to haunt you, right? That was something that happened.
It didn't happen. That's what I'm getting to. As I was getting older and more kids would recognize me, I was trying to be smarter and more aware with my behaviors, and I feel like it's something from so long ago. Ruined all that progress. But it's been a year, almost a year. So.
Yeah.
So they got this, and that was 19-year-old Dylan.
Exactly, So he was, he made some silly choices, and don't get me wrong, I was still, like any person make, choices probably I would rather
You still have
not.
the potential to drop the ball.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, as we all do.
Anyone who says that they don't drop the ball is telling a big fib.
So what was that like obviously it would have been tough because you're starting a new club, you're getting to know new staff, you're getting to know all these old legends.
I got to know all the staff pretty quickly actually, which was not ideal situation, but Those are the cards that were dealt.
Yeah.
I dealt them myself pretty much.
Yeah.
So no, I couldn't thank him enough. I'm a pretty chilled guy, so I don't like being stressed, and
Did anyone reach out? Because I know the thing about the NRL is ex-players and current players.
Yeah.
They don't cast the first stone because everyone knows what they've done.
You'd be surprised, man, how much I wouldn't say support, but just guys seeing if I was okay. As long as I spoke to mum. I was nervous because I spoke to mum, and she was pretty rattled, and then she rang me back about 10 minutes later, and she's like, "You okay?" And I was like, "I've been better."
Yeah.
But
I'm also really pissed.
Yeah.
100%, I was fucking pissed off.
I have a decent amount of stress.
Yeah,
A lot of
I'm
cortisol
a dude that doesn't like stress too much, and
coursing through my veins, man. I'm
What was your play? Did you just lay low from there? Was that
So I'm a kind of I don't like hiding away, and I like to get out, but
Ravisi's,
yeah,
Booths,
yeah.
not the thing to do after something like that.
no.
Yeah, so then I just stuck to a Waffies and some garlic sauce.
So how did the club, handle that? Were they like, just don't fucking talk to anyone? Go just go away for a couple of weeks.
Nah, they were pretty.
Keep your head down.
Shut
up.
That was so good, man.
Yeah.
I can't thank them enough. Especially, it was very, very caught me by surprise. Caught everyone by surprise. But I mean, life goes on, bro.
It does.
Far out. There's, there's
You almost got dwarfed though by the end of that off season. Like we weren't talking about
Yeah.
Big Papi anymore by the end of that off season. We were talking about all kinds of other
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah,
It was a schizophrenic off season. I think it's coming. What's happening now is that, and you're a bit older. I mean, the scheme of things, but there is now players born in the 2000s,
2000s, bro. It's
Yeah.
great. It's the-
and they've
for
grown up
Fida-
with phones and shit
for
like that.
Yeah.
Fida, probably. He hasn't. He's probably had an iPhone since birth.
Yeah. And so those kids have had to learn
Born during the
rapidly.
Olympics.
Yeah,
He was born when the Olympics.
it's crazy, right? Yeah.
He doesn't even remember the Twin Towers being up.
That's psycho. Man.
Yeah. How are you? Are you now are you slipping into mentor role? Like as someone who's, you're not an OG, you're not an old head, but
Hey,
you are an established.
Come on, bro.
You are an established player.
Yeah.
So do you get a little bit of that going on when you see a 19-year-old kid maybe who should put his fucking phone away?
Yeah, for sure. Try and lead by example. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not a captain, and
Yeah.
to be honest, I probably don't have captain qualities, but I do have a leadership.
Enforcer.
Yeah, whether I like it or not.
Heavy.
Man, I play front row. And so I've just tried to take that on board and grow as a person, as a football player. And just try and point these kids in the right direction so they don't have to go through anything that I went through.
So we've been to a few boxing matches and shit like that, heavyweight matches, and seen like a lot of footy players off field just doing their thing, surrounded by their mates. One question I want to ask you, I wanted to ask Willie and Rennie this when they came in, is how do you guys avoid making friends with the people that you shouldn't make friends with? Because it would be hard as an 18-year-old. You get all kinds of people historically, people have always wanted to hang around footballers, people that, might be high profile for other reasons. How do you kind of do that?
I really haven't thought about that too much. So I feel like I'm surrounded by amazing people. I've got amazing friends. I've got friends in Sydney that I've only obviously known for a few years, and then I've also got my boys back from school, high school, guys that I used to sit with in year 7, year 5, year 6, and still homies with them. With the kind of personality I have. They've all been so supportive and aware of situations. I couldn't count on one hand how many times they've helped me if I've had a situation out. But that's what friends are for.
Yeah. So you do think that people in New South Wales are good people?
For sure, man. I've got too many mates down here, bro. I walk out of the studio, I have no mates if I sit there.
What is the plan? If you talk about like footy, so you've got 2 more years at the Dogs. I mean, in this day and age, man, you've got 10 more years in your career, really.
Yeah.
Maybe Cameron Smith.
Yeah.
The way...
That's changing too, though. People are playing for longer as well.
Yeah.
They've kind of got fitter and...
Yeah, but the kids coming through, man. Like...
That they hit hard, the kids, don't they?
Man, like...
Like, I don't think that Cameron Smith, he is a brilliant player, but I don't think...
He didn't have to play too many
I don't
Papalis
think
in his early stage.
he would get, back to his feet really fast after getting, fucking steamrolled by David Fafita or something.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't think...
If he'd been doing that his whole career.
I don't think, he'd be more of a Lockier then, wouldn't he?
I definitely wouldn't doubt Cameron Smith, so you're on your own there, bro.
As Dylan, as someone who's been at the centre of media kind of hysteria and they've closed in on you, you've felt that happening. You turned your phone off and shit, like it was all happening when it was happening. What have you got to say about someone like Latrell, who's done nothing wrong as far as you can really see on paper?
All he's done is just say, I'd like to go and explore all of my options.
Yeah, I'd like to also make
and now the media's fucking on his ass about everything.
I'd like to make a calculated, clever decision. And they're like, how disrespectful is this man for not just, doing what we think he should do? What do you got to say about that?
Latrell? Obviously the Latrell situation's been pretty hectic for himself and his family. I think it's probably been a bit of a slow off season, so the media have come down pretty hard on him.
Sex tapes, bro. Sex tapes, they wouldn't be on Latrell's case.
Yeah, he probably wished he'd come off contract last year. Actually, nah, his situations. Man, I'm not too sure exactly what happens behind closed doors with himself and the club he's at, but I mean I feel like he's done everything by the rules. And, it's the news these days.
So you back him?
Oh, he's my guy.
So that's not what... No one says that. You don't hear any journalists say that. You've played with him. Is Latrell a good kid?
Latrell is such a good kid. And he's also... He's got a whole, Indigenous community that looks up to him. And he's... From everything that I've ever been involved with him, he's always given back to his community. He's always gone home. He knows who his day ones are. And, he's been... I feel like he's been stitched up.
Yeah.
For playing by the rules.
Yeah. He was up there fighting fucking fires, and they had stories about him in Daily Mail being like, Latrell's a brat, Latrell's done this, Latrell's, doing this. We had a media day the other day, and they asked questions about Latrell, and obviously I answered with similar to what I said here. He's an awesome kid, an awesome role model, and he's whatever he chooses to do, he does, but that doesn't get played. They didn't.
I'm sure when Boyd Cordner was at the New South Wales media day the other day, he would have said similar answers, and that doesn't get played. They sort of write their own
narrative around Latrell. What is the media training they give you nowadays? Like they tell, obviously it's had to change a lot because every ex-footy player we've had on here, from the guys that were probably still kind of playing when you started, Willie Rennie, Matty Rogers is a bit older than that, and then E.T. and then even Cliffy Lyons, all of them say the same shit. Even if they're good boys, they just say, I'm fucking glad we didn't have camera phones when I was playing. Everyone says it. Even the old gentlemen say that.
Yeah.
Like when we spoke to Mike Whitney, he was a fast bowler in the 70s, and he was like, mate, I'm just forever thankful that we didn't have phones in the 70s. And, we've spoken to, some boys who are in union, you know, and they are traditionally a bit better behaved, and they're like, mate, fucking Jesus Christ.
On
like,
paper,
the,
though.
like,
On paper.
like the stuff that we get up to, and the club's like, everyone put your phone into this fucking bag, and you'll get them back when you leave.
Yeah. Bo Ryan says that.
Yeah.
Put him in a box, and you know Bucks party continues or whatever. You know.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happens, at other clubs or codes, but pretty well behaved at the Bulldogs.
Yeah. They gave it. Well, you're still living in Bondi too. So, would you be in more trouble if you were out in the piss in Belmore?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't want to find out either. I'll just stick to my little unit in Rose Bay.
Yeah. What have you noticed in the fans out there? Because that's a different breed of fan. That's a diehard, setting off flares kind of fans at the Doggies.
Yeah.
Have you noticed the difference?
They're loyal as, and they'll let you know if you win, and they'll let you know if you lose. Nah, I feel like like anything, man. You can't really put it in, like, you can't put a fan into a stereotype. You can't stereotype a fan. It's like a school.
Yeah.
There's
Good kids,
there's
bad
good
kids.
kids, bad kids,
Yeah.
and hot teachers.
So what are you thinking after? You were saying that before. You're thinking about after footy. Would you ever glove up? Would you ever get into a ring? Which it seems to be a thing that a lot of ex and current footballers decide to do nowadays.
It would have to be a lot of zeros on that then. But nah, I don't think that's for me.
When was your last fight?
Probably the night I got banned from the Valley.
Yeah, okay. No Limit Promotions. We'll tell the Rose Boys to come back in a couple of years for that one, hey?
Yeah,
Gallon v Napa.
Nah, I'm good, man.
No one wants to fight Paul Gallen. The size of that cunt.
Except
His
Hopper.
hand.
Man, shout out Hopper, bro. He's a beast. He's still punching on, man. He's 80 years old.
Getting up there.
Yeah.
Well,
He's a
I know
grandpa.
Yeah, he is.
the last game of rugby he ever played, was that one where he got like the biggest suspension.
Yeah, it was
when like he
swinging elbow or
he
flying
went
eyes or
Keith
flying
Galloway.
yeah.
elbow first into Keith's
I
face.
think he launched from like 2 meters away.
And then he said,
You could hear the fucking crack
Yeah.
from the commentary box. It's just this.
and then he says, when the ref's sending him off, there
It's like,
was
what?
nothing in it.
And it's like, mate,
Yeah.
look at Keith. He's on the ground, and these
I think
guys.
they've got
like-
proof there was something in it.
Yeah, it's like
from his other.
we're
from
gonna
his
have
other
to get the
tactics.
helicopter down here, Hopper. Yeah.
So what's the plans for Christmas, mate? You just what do you guys do in the off season now when you're not under siege from the media over certain scandals? This is going to be a different off season for you. What do you do? You lock away?
I'll just sit in my house, lock the doors, and close all the windows, and
PlayStation.
hope no one sees me. Nah. So yeah, for Christmas, head up to Sunny Coast in Queensland with the family, and it's all about family these days. So don't want to give too much more information away.
Have you got a missus? Are you single?
I am single.
Maybe we should shout out Channel 10 for you. Maybe
You could be on The Bachelor.
The Bachelor. You're the new honey badger.
I'm good, man. In that case, I'm in a relationship.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, mate, and all the best for the next season with the Doggies. Get up, boys. You reckon what do you reckon? What are your predictions for the next season?
Man, if if we can start the way we finished last year, and anything's possible. Had a really good preseason now, or pre-Christmas. Time to relax for a couple weeks, and then get back into it. And who knows? Anything's possible, man.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, Dylan. Enjoy the holidays, and we'll wrap up now, and we'll kit you out with some Batuta Dolphins rugby league kit.
I've seen that online. Actually, something to replace the North Bondi Motor Arena Social Club
Right.
kit.
Yeah,
Well,
we might need to get some kit off you too. So we'll
Let's sort it
let's
out,
do
boys.
that. Let's do lunch. Let's do lunch.
Shout out.
Thanks, Bill.
Sweet.
Still.